Hi, this is A. Wilson. That ain't even tells it like a TIL. If you like my video, please give a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Topic I'm going to talk to you today about is Housewives Tea. And this Housewives Tea, I was talking about Teresa Giudice's daughter getting arrested. I also will be talking about Anne Marie, who used to be on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, saying that her husband abused her. I also will be talking about the reunion looks for Atlanta and the reunion looks for Atlanta and the trailer. Also, we'll be talking about the Ultimate Girls Trip preview party. Also, we'll be talking about the trailer that they released of the new of the Ultimate Girls Trip again. I also will be talking about Britt Eddie saying that her husband abused her. I also will be talking about Kelli saying she is the standard. And I also will be talking about Shamea and Portia and what happened at the preview at the preview. Those are just some of the stories that I'll be talking about. And like I said, it says Teresa Giudice's daughter arrested in connection with a violent incident. It says from the Real Housewives zone. Uh, Real Housewives of New Jersey star Millennia Judice took to social media in the hours after news of her arrest emerged to share a cryptic message with fans. Via her Instagram story on Thursday, the 20-year-old daughter of Teresa Giudice shared a photo of a roadside roadside sign that says none of us can sit high enough to look down on anybody, be humble. In reference to her famous mom, she also shared a meme reading, "Me and my mom so close, sometimes I be forgetting I'm talking to my mom," alongside a crying emoji. Meanwhile, no, Millennia was arrested on the 14th for domestic violence and charged on 14th of May with domestic violence and charged with a simple assault per a press release for Martville County, a sheriff of police Anderson County, and the alleged victim has been disclosed in the court documents. No other information concerning the charges have been publicly released. Okay, and then they said that it was one of her sisters who had called on her. And then right after that, somebody, I think it was last month, a month before last, somebody released her. Well, it was after her court date, and she had a court date, and it was a visual court date. I saw a clip of that, and somebody released the video of where she was in her car. And I was like a couple of people. I was saying, "Wait a minute, is this girl drunk or high, whatever?" The way she was acting in that car, I think was when the police arrested her. But anyway, a lot of people have been saying that this girl had been kind of what's the word I'm trying to use, been kind of troublesome ever since she was a little girl. Now, like I said, I watched New Jersey back in the day, but I really didn't hear too much about her. I mostly heard about her older daughter, Gia. Gia was the one that was all up in the news, and not in a bad way, but I mean she was always modeling and going to school. She was the most talked about daughter of Teresa until this one happened. So hopefully, everything will be all right with Teresa and her daughters. But you know, the story's gonna play out on the internet. Now on to the next story. Oh yeah, it says Shamea Morton says K Michelle took a conversation about Candy Burris and her friends not liking her and pushing it. And I was saying, K Michelle been doing this all season long. Somebody would say something and she push it around, have all kind of story going around and stuff like that. And talking about she ain't got time for no candy coated clip. And I agree with Shamea that she knew Candy was not going to invite her to that event if she's going to have Rashida there because Candy has a certain amount of people that she hang with on camera and off camera. And she wasn't going to disrespect her friend Rashida for K Michelle because she know K Michelle and Sharita, uh, yeah, Sharita are not on good terms. So why would she invite both of them to the same thing? So I agree with Shamia on this one. She just said that if she was to that if she was to bring K Michelle, it wouldn't feel right. It'd be uncomfortable for the rest of the guests. So that's why she didn't bring K Michelle. But she told me K Michelle why she brought it. K Michelle took them twist the story all around and stuff. That's why a lot of people say K Michelle was a disappointment to them. I mean, to me, I didn't know because I had stopped watching Love and Hip Hop. But this K Michelle that was on Atlanta, I don't like this K Michelle. But anyway, let me go on to the next story. And let me pause this video right quick and get some water. I'm back. It says right here, ROHA's Kelli for real faces collection efforts after nearly 223K California judgment is enforced in Georgia. Now Kelli claimed that she had paid all of her debts up and she didn't owe nobody, but they're saying that she do owe somebody and she's facing collection. And then she got on somebody's podcast, somebody interviewed and said that wasn't all of her debt, that some of that debt was accumulated by her husband after they had separated. Then her husband came back with his clap back, and let me read to you what he said. Here it is. Mark Farrow issues a statement at, uh, uh, as AFR Financial moves to seize Kelly Porter's bank accounts over 217K bananas, chicken, and waffles debt. And he said, this is from the Girls Are Fighting. And he said Mark Farrow issued a statement to financial moves to secure Kelly's Potter's bank accounts and Nana Chicken and Waffles debt. Mark Farrow Porter's ex-husband is pushing back against suggestions that he has been in any legal responsibility to Kelly's $217 debt. Mark Mark's reps released a statement. Recent coverage of Mrs. Kelly Porter's outstanding debt for financial has implied that her ex-husband, Mr. Mark Farrer, is responsible for the judgment entered against her and Chicken and Waffles LLC. The records does not support that. So he's saying that he want to get Kelly's financial banking information because he want the banks to know that she the one did the debt and not him. But I think both of them kind of did the debt and stuff like that. So I agree with Kelly. Both of them should be responsible because both of them was part owners in that business, even though they were separated. Because that's the first thing she said when she got on season one that he stole 500 some $1,000 from her, and it was from the business account. So I do agree with Kelly on that. On to the next story. right here it says now I like you, but believe about what you have no proof of any facts. I have an attorney bill responding to a cease and desist. This is what Angela said that that Shamea put against her cease and desist because she was saying, I think it said on another Housewives Tea that Angela accused Shamea of dating NFL players on the team and stuff like that on the Hawks, and like she does a lot of stuff for the Hawks as far as hosting events and stuff like that. And like she said, she had an investigation on her, so she was saying that Angela, you have no proof of the stuff that you said, and now I'm going to send a cease and desist against you. And I'm just reading a little bit of it. And yeah, you gotta make sure that you have all your T's dotted and your I's crossed before you put allegations against somebody. Now on to the next story. It says former married to medicine star, former married to medicine LA star Leah Jones alleges her ex tried to hire neighbors to kill her. It says former married to medicine star Leah Jones has made a shocking new allegation against her ex-husband, according to a domestic violence restraining order filed the week. Lisa claims that a neighbor told her that Colin allegedly stated what would a court wait what it would cost Colin said her could Cobain a clean gun and is actively looking and resolving someone to carry out the the killing. Based on those allegations, Leah acting in the court to for a protection order according to TMZ and stuff. That was so small. I should have zoomed it up. But anyway, she said that I don't know if that's true. It could be true. It could not be true. But these women, it seems like once they get on TV or once they get off of TV, this stuff be happening and going on and stuff like that. So let me go on to the next story. Let me pause it right quick. I need some water. And back, this is what the clap back from Rula. She said, uh, she said, an ugly side chick preparing for her Netflix documentary on how she knew she had a beautiful wife and children, but but didn't care because she had such a connection with, and it wasn't meant to be. So she thought that that a cryptic message. So I guess a ruler tell that woman no matter what she say or do, she gonna stick with her husband. Her husband gonna stick with her. But anyway, a lot of people want Rula to leave that man. And some people say they hope this don't be the storyline for next season. But it's like this: Mistress is trying to get on the show because every other day she putting out pictures of her and Brian on the internet, this, that, and the other. So I really think she does want to be on the show and stuff like this. I got one more story to talk about, and I'll be right back. Yeah, it says Britt Eddie accused a strange husband of financial and emotional abuse while they were married. And I was saying, Britt Eddie, we already knew something wasn't right with y'all because y'all chemistry wasn't right on TV on the camera and stuff like that. And she had talked about a little bit about her relationship on the show, and she was saying how she met that man. And she was an insurance adjuster and stuff, and she was teaching classes and stuff, and how she met that man in Las Vegas and stuff, and they got married. It was some kind of stuff that she talked about. And I was saying, yeah, she married that man to be on the show. So technically, she did the same thing that K Michelle did this year. She did last year. So everybody knew that relationship wasn't really kosher like she said it was. So on to the next story. Let me pause it right quick. Now, this is a story I want to talk about too. They talking about trouble in paradise. Sweet Tea and Dr. Greg sparked speculation after unfollowing each other. Now I saw her live when she did it, and because I follow her on YouTube, and so I follow her live, and she was talking about she first she started out promoting one of her friends' makeup line. She did that, and she was swiping the lipsticks and stuff. And I said, lipsticks look nice. I might try it out and get her code and stuff. And then I got to asking her questions, and she was saying, she's just letting everybody know what's going in her life and stuff like that. And she, she's been going back to work. She went back to work full time and stuff. Been working and going to school. She just got through because I did a video on her graduating from some kind of I think some kind of nursing program at school or whatever. Anyway, she was saying that there's a lot of stuff had been going on, and somebody asked her about what she had going to have a baby again, and she said yes, she's been going through the IVF treatments and stuff, and uh and she said hopefully they'll work, but she said that stuff is a process and stuff going on. And so people got to looking at her Instagram and say she didn't say anything about Greg, he normally being in the back or whatever. And I looked on her Instagram, they scraped a lot of pictures of her off of there, and then Greg don't have but a few pictures of her on it, but she put out, and I was saying that don't mean nothing just because somebody takes some pictures off or whatever. And like I said, until Sweet Tea come out and say it out of her mouth, I'm not gonna believe these rumors of speculation. Now the last and final thing was the Atlanta seat in Detroit, and then they got Portia and K Michelle in the first seat, and everybody else. But I agree with a lot of the fans. K Michelle shouldn't have had that first chair. That chair should have either went to Shamea, Angela, and even Drew. Even Drew could have had that seat. But people looking at Drew wasn't on there a whole lot. But the few times she was on there, she did have an impact and stuff like that. So I do believe that it should have been Shamea or either Angela or on the other side of what you call. And with the looks, at first, I didn't like Shamea's dress, but then when I saw it standing up, I said, "Ooh, it looks better." So I had to change it, and then after I saw Phaedra's look, I changed Phaedra because I had Phaedra way at the bottom. So I still like Angela. Angela's still number one in my book. Uh, uh, Drew is number two, and Shamia is number three, and Phaedra is number four. Now, like I said, I didn't like Cynthia Step at first, but after I seen it, Cynthia was number five, and then everybody else fall into place. And to me, Pinky was the last one. I'm sorry, I didn't like Pinky's dress at all. So that's all I have for this video. This is A Wesley. That ain't who tells it like a TI is. I am out.